Welcome to the sideshow. Like, share, comment, subscribe.
You may have seen a poll that I'm running called "Which Tom Daniel kit should I build next?" And in it, I list the Bad Medicine, Lil Van, um, the Hangman, and Tijuana Taxi. Now, I got to tell you right now, I have built all of those kits in the past, with the exception of Bad Medicine. I have never built Bad Medicine. I'm not sure why I didn't get around to that one, but I never built Bad Medicine. But that should not influence you if you're looking at doing the voting. Nor should what I am about to show you influence you against voting for Lil Van, because what you're going to see in a second is a Lil Van, more or less. But I didn't build it as a Lil Van. Um, and that's a problem with the Lil Van quite often, is people just don't build it as the Lil Van. And what I'm talking about in my vote, the poll that I'm doing, is should I build that particular kit as what it's supposed to be? You see, the thing with the Lil Van is most people um, weren't as crazy about the Lil Van as the kit that it was based on. The Lil Van started off life as the Sand Crab, kind of like the way the Hangman started life as the Dragon Wagon. And, well, a lot of people buy little vans just so that they can kind of convert it back to a sand crab. And what you see here is a kit that I sort of got most of the way back to a sand crab. What's missing, obviously, is the roof. You know, there's that clear or green roof that was on the top of it that had the big flower decal on it. And what you see here was my attempt at turning a little van back into a sand crab. Now, I did this about 3 or 4 years ago. I am not 100% sure why I did not do a video on it. Most likely is because I was too busy with my knife channel to take the time to do videos on my car models and my other car models. I build more than just car models, but mostly it's car models that you see, because and mostly what you see are things dealing with Tom Daniels. And Lil Van and the Sand Crab were both creations of Tom Daniel. Now, first came the Sand Crab, which was a big hit, and it had the lime green colored body. I always thought of it looked more like a toad frog than a crab. The part of it that's made it the crab is this the front sand shield here for the wheel for the headlights. The headlights were underneath there, and you see how this moves up and down. So kind of like the eyes of the crab are just barely being seen and such. But in any case, also this was chrome on both the sand crab and the little van. It was a chromed piece. I stripped it because it was all scratched up in the kit, so I just stripped off the chrome and made it the body color. The same thing with the roll bar up here. This was also chrome. I stripped that and made it the body color too, because it just really looks better, the body color. I really probably should have puttied that in and everything else, but I just left it just attached on there, figuring, in real life it might be the same way. Also, the if you're familiar with the sand crab, it had a cut down front windshield. The Lil Van has a full windshield, as you can see from the instructions here, and it also has that body structure on the back that was missing, or that was not on the sand crab. The sand crab just had a really cool, originally a transparent green roof. The windshield was also a transparent green, but I believe later kits had clear parts. I don't know for certain. There might have been two releases with the sand crab, but Tom Daniel was actually approached to do something with the sand crab, and that's how the little van came about. And this was actually something Tom actually wanted to do. He said he was actually excited to try and convert the sand crab into a little van, with the little compartment on the back and everything else. And the more I look at it, the more I do like it. It's not as cool as the sand crab was, but at the same time, there is something with this little van portion in the back here. If anything, I kind of dig that part. And actually, when I was actually building this kit, I seriously thought about leaving that portion on in the back, but not having the roof portion on. Because I can see a purpose for that little area in the back, so you can like throw in your scuba gear or something like that. But what I plan on doing is if the little van actually gets in there, then and wins, and even if it doesn't, I will eventually get around to building it. It's just which of those four kits am I going to end up building first? One of the funky things with the little van is this is where the gas filler is on the sand crab, and they do not have they have the cap and everything, but the fuel tank is right on top of the engine with the sand crab. But it's kind of funky to think of having your fuel tank right there when you have this whole area closed off. So if I do the little van, I am going to definitely have to move that. I'll probably take that completely out, smooth it down, and putty it in, because it's not necessary. And then probably most likely move the fuel tank under the front up here, and then just fake a line or something going back. The biggest problem I had when I was building this kit, and hopefully I will be over it by the time I do the little van, is the engine. I had some serious issues fitting the engine together, and I don't know if that was headspace and timing on my part, or if it was actually problems with the engine. Part of the problem is when you go to put the engine together on this thing, the cylinders don't seem to match up, but I don't think they really need to match up, and that's probably the thing, that they're not really supposed to be perfectly matching and everything, but you just have this feeling that they're supposed to. But once you get it all built and together, then everything seems to be okay. It's just in the meantime, when you're putting it together, it just looks like it's all wrong. But if you actually follow the instructions, I think it'll go together all right. So I'll see how it goes on the next try around. The other problem with it is here with the exhaust pipes. Those things are really tricky to get in place. You really probably should use some quick setting glue or some crazy glue to get those pipes on and get them in place. But you see, it is typical of the way you do Volkswagen engines, and it's hanging just off the back there. So it's really kind of tricky. There's 3 little spots that hold the entire back of the engine on. So it's a little tricky, but not impossible. So that's the only part of the car that I had issues with. Obviously, the 2-part wheels are a little bit of a pain, and these are hard plastic, so gluing them together is a little tricky too, but it does come out pretty good. What I did with this one is, I believe this is in the Tamiya Coral Blue. Put a big old iron cross on there, a surfer cross on the front. It's purple and yellow, and it reads Cowabunga going across and down. And then, as you see, I have this thing where I like to use just a few colors on any kind of vehicle I'm building. So usually I try to limit it to like 3 or 4 colors for the entire build, and not counting specific things that have to be picked out in some weird color that I would not normally use. In the case of this vehicle, I was going with orange. So there's two different shades of orange being used. And the seats, I thought, when I painted them orange, they looked really good against the blue. But I thought, as soon as I got it painted, it's like, that needs to have tiger stripes in there. So I went ahead and made it like tiger pelt seats in there. And if you can look in there real closely, you can see that the engine is also orange. So I painted the engine orange to go with the seats, and my little Tom Daniel decal on the back there, because whenever I build a Tom Daniel kit, I try to give him credit for the design. Even if I modified the design, it was his creative genius that started it all. The other thing I did with this to add a little pizzazz to it is I cut down the window. The glass did not cut nearly as well, so I just used some of that clear vinyl or clear plastic that you can get in so many other kits, and I just cut it down so it's like evergreen clear on there. And then there were two spots on the bar here, the roll bar, that are there for you to glue the roof on. They were there for both the sand crab and also the little van. But I said, you know what the heck? Why not take the roof lights up here and put them back there? And so that's what I did. I glued those there, so you've got these two lights hanging on the back there. My only regret with this entire kit is the lack of detail on the interior. There's just not a lot in the interior there. And if I have my druthers, and I might still end up doing it, is go in there and work on a center console to run down the middle and add a few more little details, like maybe an AM/FM radio or something like that in there, or a cassette deck or a 8-track player or something to get under the dash and stuff. That would add a little bit more fun to it. Ended up naming it the Tiki Buggy because it's going on Tiki Beach. And any case, there was my one of many Dune buggies that I have. I've got several Dune buggy kits, but the only Dune buggy kit that I'm aware of in 1/24 scale is the little van right now, and that's harder and harder to find. The sand crab is near impossible to find, but those are the only two that I'm aware of that were in 1/24 scale. There's quite a few out there in 1/25 scale, and those are going to be close enough, so I will probably throw in some 1/25 scale Dune buggies, like the the Manx. That's pretty cool. There's so many of them that are pretty cool, and I got a lot of them. So in any case, I thought I would break this one out, show you what I did with Little Van 1. The next little van I build will be like the little van, probably in a different color. I will probably paint it in a two-tone scheme, so the van portion and the roof will be one color, the body will be another color. I will probably once again strip the chrome off of the bar going across, because to me that is the weakest part of this whole kit when you're looking at this. I don't like the chrome bar going across here. I think it would be better in the body color. So I'll do that in the body color here, and then just put the little van there and see how it goes. That will be what happens when I get around to the little van. But in the meantime, stick around. I'll add a few slides of this build and call it a day.
Thank you for visiting Toby's Sideshow of Scale Styrene. If you liked what you saw, please consider giving it a thumbs up and leaving a comment. Share it with your friends and please subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up online. Thanks again for visiting and see you soon.